So I want to invite up Jim Rubens, who's a candidate for U.S. Senate here in New Hampshire, the former state senator and a candidate for governor, someone who's been out there working the hustings over these last few months. Jim, why don't you come on up? Good to see you.
Thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. Test. On Monday, the State Department put me together with 7 Iraqi politicians. And the purpose of this was to help train them how to campaign on issues as opposed to ethnic divisions. And so I shared with them some of my campaign tips. The date from my first election back in 1994. And the first one is you campaign in dumps. And how do you campaign in a dump? You never touch the recycling. And I found that, of course, people hate to hear from politicians. So I found that if you reached into the back of the car without, and again, don't touch the recycling, they're possessive, and you take the black bag out and you put it in, and then they'll look up and you say thank you. And then you can crack the door open, and they'll begin to listen to you as a politician. Another little tip. The Democrats, of course, I ran in a very liberal district back when I first ran in the Hanover area. And the Democrats despised it because I was evil, of course, a Republican against everything human. And I had a picture of a cat on my shoulder with a woodpile behind me. Where did you get that cat? They were telling my wife. How could a person that evil have a cat like that? So the cat photo, that's a good item. Then I had a debate, because I'm a nerd. So we had a debate about school funding. And I had my charts. I had a chart showing the increase in school spending, like this, and the test scores like that. Bobby, Governor Jindal, you probably know about that. And the League of Women Voters sponsoring this debate did not allow charts into the room. That would be an unfair advantage. So I had my campaign people print it on their T-shirts. So they came in the room, and so when I had to point to my chart, I pointed to the T-shirts in the room. And so we made our point. So those are some campaign tips. And that's how I defeated a sitting Senate president without having any political experience. And I promised the voters 3 things. I promised them that I would listen, and I would be available to them, and I'd return every single phone call personally, which I did do. I promised them I would get SB 2 voting passed into law, and that has caused a turnout increase among the towns and school districts of the state, 5 times increase in voter turnout. The teachers union hated it, of course. And I promised to get charter schools passed into law, which I did also, among some other things. Thank you. And I haven't been following that issue until I got back in the campaign last May, and you have a charter school here in Nashua, a phenomenal charter school, the Academy of Science and Design. It's the biggest one in the state, 450 students. They have by far and away the top test scores in the state among any school. Okay? And they operate at 1/3 the cost per student. Big problem for the education establishment. So I listened, I delivered, and now I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I'm seeking to replace the lifetime Washington career politician and Obama rubber stamp Jeanne Shaheen, and she can be taken out. She voted 99% of the time with President Obama last year, okay? Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, they voted 90 and 94% of the time. You've got a rubber stamp in this state that has completely lost touch with the people of this state. And Obamacare is just the beginning. She actually claims that Obamacare is having positive effects in our state. It's cutting off people from their doctors and their hospitals. It is increasing deductibles for folks. It's causing young people to have to pay twice as much as they should for insurance. It is, I'll give you this is one of these 1,000-page bills that no one read. I was visiting one of our hospitals in our state, in Colebrook, New Hampshire. They're the smallest hospital in the state. They're cut out of the narrow network. They're barely making it. They had to pay $2,000 for a company, a hazardous waste disposal company, to come up here. These are Obamacare rules, to come up from Massachusetts and take 30 Coumadin pills, deliver it back to Massachusetts, and dispose of it in an approved hazardous waste facility. This is insane. It cost them $2,000. They don't have that money. These are the kind of rules and regulations that came out of this crazy law that is trying to re-engineer life in our state. And again, Jeanne Shaheen, the 60th vote. And this is not the only reason to replace her. She is wrong on so many counts. Let's go to another one. Let's go to the Dodd-Frank bill, where she was the 60th vote to pass it. Written by Wall Street, okay? Written by the Wall Street lobbyists, the too big to fail banks, bigger than they were before, and the taxpayer still at risk if they fail, and they will fail again, as we have a financial crisis in this country every 10 years under the Federal Reserve Board's crazy policy. And it's hurting our New Hampshire banks in the state. It's hurting Main Street business in our state. The 20% of otherwise qualified home mortgage applicants can't get a mortgage now because of Dodd-Frank. It's great for Wall Street, great for Gene Shaheen's Wall Street cronies, and bad for Main Street in our state. And 30,000 pages of regulations. She is in favor of and comfortable with NSA spying on her emails. And you can't trust her on the Second Amendment. She voted for a global gun registry. Okay, we don't like that here in this state. So what am I about? I'd like to replace this out-of-touch career politician. And I've been around the state doing this since about May. I've done about 125 speeches, put 30,000 miles on my car. I've lived here for 40 years. I'm connected to the state. I've started 10 businesses here. I know the different parts of the state. I know how different it is in Colebrook and Portsmouth and Hollis. And you get that from that experience. I've served 20 years in public office. I served in the state senate. And I have, you get to know the state and its people that way. So what we need to do as Republicans, we need a new kind of Republicanism in the state. We need to come back to the voters with solutions. We need to fix problems. We've got a jobs problem in the state. We need to show, better than the Democrats are doing, all they do is special interest handouts. We need to raise the platform of the private sector economy. We need to simplify the tax code, reduce corporate tax rates, repatriate the $2.1 trillion of corporate tax money trapped offshore by the 35% book rate, bring it back home, private sector stimulus. Let's have the private sector bringing wages up. Let's have the private sector. Let's reduce regulations. We've got crazy regulations. Again, Dodd-Frank, 30,000 pages of it. We need to, this is what Republicans should be doing, we need to be fiscally sober again. We have completely lost our way. Under the Shaheen-Obama approach in the last 5 years, $7 trillion of additional debt. They've put it on the nation's credit card, and they're handing it to our kids and our grandkids, and they can't possibly pay it. This fiscal recklessness must stop. We're going to bankrupt the country, and we're going to destroy our currency, and we do not have another 6 years to wait for this career Washington politician to get out of office. We, the Republican Party, we're the people who can do this job. The Democrats are not going to do this. We're the only party that can do it, and the way we're going to do it is unite. I'm not trying to kick anyone out of our party. I know there are Tea Party Republicans and moderates, and sometimes they don't get along. We are the only party. We've got to grab the fire hose. We're the only party. We're the volunteer firemen, and aim it at the fire. Our country is burning down together. So I'm asking you folks, join me in this fight to save America, save prosperity, save the free market, save freedom. All right, thank you very much, folks. Thank you. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jim. 3 quick business items before I leave you to your dinners in peace. Number 1, I understand that I think 2 of our distinguished speakers for tomorrow are in the room right now. Representative Peter King is right here. Let's say welcome to him. And Ambassador John Bolton is also here somewhere. Where would he be? There he is. Welcome. Item 2, if you had your pictures taken during the VIP session by the very talented Alan Glassman, let's give him a round of applause for all that he does. Thank you, Alan. They'll be available outside the room here at the end of your dinner, so make sure you look for those. And number 3, if you're a registered attendee of the conference and you've got a credential like this, that means you get 1 ballot to vote in our presidential survey that our friends at Wilson Public Affairs are conducting for us. The ballot box is out in the hallway as well as ballots, so I want to encourage you to take part in that process. The polls close at noon tomorrow, so make sure you go. When you go, they'll check your credentials, make sure we're voting only once here. Anyways, please take part. Welcome again and enjoy your dinner. Thanks so much.